Hey, Allison Verhalen here, coming at you live for today's Marketing Monday, and it is that time of year again. It is November 27th as I am making this video, which means we're down to just a little more than 1 month in the year of 2023, which for those of you in the marketing world usually means really any world that you're in, right? This is a time when we all start to stop and take stock of what happened in the past year personally and professionally. When it comes to the world of content marketing, there were some pretty big changes this past year. So let's get into it. Let's get into what it means to be doing content marketing in 2023, whether you're a content marketer professional like myself, or you've got your own business and you're trying as hard as you can to get people in the door, and you recognize that content marketing is one of the best ways to do that if you do it right. So that's the hard part, isn't it? Doing it right. So I'm going to get into it with you right here and now, how to focus on content marketing the right way with a strategy, right? What are some things that has made content marketing more difficult, and how can you adjust? One of the things that has made it more difficult is more companies investing in content marketing, right? Because it's a huge value proposition. It's a great way for people to get high quality leads in the door, to nurture those leads, to educate those leads so that by the time they are ready to buy, they know they want to buy from you. They know why they want to buy from you. They're ready. They understand the value in what you provide, and they're ready to go. It makes the sales conversation so much easier if you do your content marketing right? That means that you have to have your value proposition, have it clearly defined and explained in your content marketing, and you are nurturing those leads all the way through the buyer journey, so you don't lose them somewhere in the middle or even at the beginning. So that is a big one, is the problem with that. The good news is everyone's investing in content marketing. The bad news is everyone's investing in content marketing. So it can get harder to get in front of, people, period. So the answer to that, how do you get around that, is focus on your niche, right? Instead of trying to create content for everyone and get in front of as many people as possible, your goal these days should be to get really, really clear on who your ideal client is. That means talking to people at networking events. That means asking them questions when you're on a sales call, when you're in client meetings, anytime you're talking to a real life person who has been, or may at some point in the future be a client of yours. Get to know them as well as possible. Also track the data. Who's coming to your website? Where are they coming from? How are they getting to your website? Are they finding you through a search? Are they clicking through from a social media site? If so, which ones? Which posts? What is getting the most traction for you? What are they doing when they're online? What types of content are they consuming? How long are they staying? Are they traveling from different pieces of content, or are they just coming in, reading one piece of content and then clicking away? The more information you can get on your target audience, the more you can create content that is specifically tailored to them. This also means you have to get super clear on your brand and what it is you do for people, because conveying and convincing people of the value you provide everything hinges on that, right? If they read your content, if they see you all over the place, McDonald's is a great example. I cannot remember the last time I ate at McDonald's. I see them all over the place. Obviously, I know everything they provide, all the stuff that they sell. I'm not going to go there. I'm not their target audience. Other people go there all the time, right? That's their thing. There's no judgment either way. It's just, I am not their target audience. So they should not bother putting content in front of me, right? So think of it that way, right? Who is your target audience? Where are they? Where are they online as well as in person? And what is it that's going to attract them? Is it the tasty food? Is it the cheap food? Is it the high quality food? Is it the nutritious food? Is it the farm to table, organic, everything kind of food? There are a lot of different categories, right? You think food is simple. It's not. There are a lot of different categories in there. So your business is the same way, regardless of the industry you're in. Get as specific as possible about who your target audience is so that you can create content that is specifically tailored to them. It's It's not about getting in front of as many people as possible. It's about getting in front of the right people. All right, moving on to the next one, the elephant in the room, AI, artificial intelligence, right? We are all talking about this all the time. Can't get away from it. Obviously, it had a huge impact on content marketing in 2023. ChatGPT was launched about a year ago. I want to say it was sometime in November of last year. So people have been talking about AI and other generative tools. This is the question I get asked all the time when I'm in a networking event. People want to know how AI has impacted my business. It really hasn't. Other than I think when I started my business way back in the day, right? For me, I was competing with the people who were on like Fiverr and Upwork in like India, right? And they're writing for like pennies, and people would hire them initially because they wanted to pay bottom dollar, and I cannot compete on those prices, right? But they couldn't compete with my quality. So they would pay bottom dollar and they would get bottom dollar content and then go, "Oh, I need to actually hire someone who knows what they're doing." And then they would come and hire me. And I have seen the same thing happen with AI this year. I got one of my clients this year because he hired another marketing agency. They did not invest in his content. It was crappy. It was generic. It was not in line with his brand at all. And he put it through an AI checker, and sure enough, it came back like 90% AI written, right? Nobody wants that. So he ended up hiring me to actually write the content for him. So I think that is really the only way AI has impacted me. Obviously, there's going to be, and again, this goes back to more and more people creating content and investing in content. With ChatGPT, you're going to have a lot of people creating content without investing in content. I do think ChatGPT can be helpful, and there are other AI tools. ChatGPT is not the only one. I do think it can be super helpful with some aspects of the content creation process if you are really strategic about it. If you know what the result is that you want, and you make sure you're really clear on that result, and you edit everything that it gives you before going ahead and publishing it. If you do it right, you can use it with parts of the content creation process. I especially like using it for the boring parts, right? So in every blog post that I write, I have a story element, and I have a really clear call to action at the end. And ChatGPT sucks at call to actions. I have yet to see an effective call to action created by AI. But if it's just like, here are the ways to do such and such, and here's what you need to know about XYZ, ChatGPT is great at that. AI is great at that. Give it a bunch of information and have it regurgitate that for you. It can do that no problem. You should be the one to have the analysis. It cannot analyze that information. It cannot be a thought leader in your industry. Only you can do that. Make sure that thought analysis is in there. Make sure the story is in there, and make sure you've got a really compelling call to action. By all means, use ChatGPT for data analysis to get more information on your target audience, to organize information for you, to organize things like keywords. It can be great at that. But again, always check its work, because it's never perfect. So that's really all I have to say about AI in the year of 2023. I certainly think it's interesting where it's going. I just don't see it replacing what I do right now, at least not entirely. Short form versus long form content. So this is another thing. I always get people asking me if I do social media. I do not do social media. I don't. I did it for a little while. I hated it. I had a hard time getting people to pay me more than bottom dollar, because no one values social media. And I was okay at social media, but I know there are people out there who do it better than I do. So I was more than happy to just say, you know what, just go talk to this person. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm still that way. I still have people in my network who do social media marketing. I can make those referrals for you. I'm not going to do the social media for you. So something that I get asked about a lot is, how long should my content really be? No one reads long content anymore. Yes, they do. The data shows that the longer your content is, the more time people will spend engaging with it. I know we all think we have short attention spans, and everyone's on TikTok and the YouTube shorts, and they don't want to pay attention for more than a couple minutes. But they are, if they you have a well-written, engaging content, right? That's the other thing, is it has to be well-written and engaging. If it's boring and it sounds like it was written by a robot, yeah, they're only going to spend 30 seconds to a minute before going, this is boring. I'm going to go find something that I actually want to read or watch or listen to. So again, that's where the human element comes into creating your content and diving deep into a topic and making sure you're covering everything there is to cover. And again, your target audience. If it's something that is of interest to them, if it's important to them, if it's something they want and or really need to know about, write about it, because that's what's going to keep them engaged. There are also tricks to make content scannable. I'm not naive. I don't pretend that no one scans content. I scan content when I find a blog post. It's like, okay, great. I just need to know about this one little bit of information. Where can I find that? I always make my content super scannable. So I've got the table of contents at the top. I've got a bunch of subheadings throughout the content. So if people just want to scan through and click on and spend time with different subsections, great, they can do that. If they know exactly what they want to find and they see my table of contents at the top, they can click on whatever they want and go straight to that section. No scrolling, no waiting, no reading all of the content. It goes straight to what they want. So make it super easy for people to find. If they do just want a little bit of information, make it super easy for them to find it. But that is not a reason to create short form content, especially since Google, we all want art to show up in those search results, right? Google still prioritizes the longer form content over the short form content. So that's another reason to stick with the long form. And basics are more important than ever. Have a schedule, stick to it, have a call to action, make it a compelling call to action, know what each goal is with each piece of content that you are creating and stick to it. Have a way to get people to that next stage of the buyer journey so you achieve those goals with each piece of content. And again, know your target audience, know your brand voice, have all of that super dialed in before you start creating the content. I have a friend who says, do the work before going to work. This is what you got to do. You got to create your schedule, stick to it, come up with a content calendar, know who your target audience is, have a really clear idea of what your brand is, so that you can portray that in your content and then distribute your content. We all want to show up on the first page of Google. That's great. It is super easy to convert leads that are already looking for what you provide. But there's still no replacing the content distribution, the social media, the emails, the backlinks, all of that. Make sure all of that is on brand so you are actively getting your content in front of other people instead of just waiting for them to come to you. And that's it. That is everything that I have for you. Those are all my tips. If you have any other questions, you can find me at AV, as in my initials, Allison Verhalen. I'm at avwritingservices.com. And you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great week and happy blogging, everyone.